So that brings me to a total of, which is an absolutely insane amount of money to be earning over and above your full-time salary. Have you ever wondered how people are actually making money online? And then when you went and Googled it, you saw it was things like Bitcoin arbitrage, Patreon, OnlyFans, and things which seem either dodgy or illegal. Well, that was me too. So imagine my surprise when, after earning passive income teaching online, I tallied up my income and realized I'd earned over $7,000 over the lockdown period, doing totally legitimate things that you can do too. You guys know that I love to keep it real on my channel, so this is going to be the least cheesy, least salesy video out there about finance, but I'd love to share some of my teaching journey with you guys. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Megs, and every week I release tech tutorials helping you do digital better. It's difficult to describe my journey online as anything other than a slow burn. To put it into perspective, about 9 years ago, I set up a Shopify store called Megs where I sold washi tape, diaries, and stationery to my friends and family on the internet. And although I'm sure it was mainly their pity that I was actually benefiting off of, I must say that it was love at first sale. So I really enjoyed finding new ways in which I could make money online, kind of realizing that this would mean I didn't have to then work for every second of my time, and that actually could start to develop systems and workflows and funnels that were actually going to earn me money in the background. But I must say it was definitely easier said than done, because since then I've been investigating loads of different ways in which this is possible. So a couple of years later, I decided to found an online learning academy where I sold courses online, because I felt like this solved a major need in terms of a lack of education around digital marketing, and I also felt like it would be nice not to have to fulfill physical product orders. However, obviously not knowing anything about shooting videos, sound, lighting, or anything else, I did have a hard time setting up and selling this course. Nevertheless, I launched it on Teachable, and again, people were really overwhelmingly supportive. I didn't make a lot of money, but I learned a lot of great things. It wasn't until I actually watched an ABDAAL YouTube video about how much money he makes using Skillshare that I started to think that maybe having launched my online course on a platform that required me to get everyone to that portal, that maybe I should start to look at a more marketplace approach. So then I started to investigate how this could be feasible. At the same time, I was starting up my YouTube channel, mainly to drive the course sales back to that Teachable platform. But what I realized is that I actually love producing video content, and that should probably be my primary focus, as opposed to trying to build long and elaborate courses. So I pivoted my approach. I focused mainly on YouTube, but then started to wonder, when I saw that YouTube monetization was harder than what it sounds, I started to look at the Skillshares of the world, having watched these videos of ABDAAL's. And that was really the pivoting point and the game changer. So although I'd had my YouTube channel for about 18 months by the time lockdown was kind of hitting and taking effect, it was only at that point that I was becoming monetized. So I don't want to give the illusion that I started a YouTube channel and it got monetized straight away, but certainly I'd had kind of a slow burn up until that point and happened to be monetized around July of last year. So that was when my YouTube paycheck started to come in. But I had, in May of last year, set up a Skillshare account and started to upload the courses which I'd previously taught on Teachable onto this new portal. And I was amazed, because I actually started making money in that very first month in May of last year. And those earnings increased incrementally, which I'm going to share with you guys today. So even though it was a much newer process for me in terms of creating Skillshare versus YouTube, all of a sudden I found it working in perfect harmony. Another big reason for this is because Skillshare has a referral program, which effectively means that people who are watching your courses, you get paid $10 for every person that you refer. So in this instance, YouTube and Skillshare work hand in hand, because you are able to earn money on both the referral of them clicking through and converting, and then from the premium minutes of watch time. So in that instance, Skillshare and YouTube are actually quite similar. Skillshare is like a Netflix for e-learning, but because everyone has paid a monthly monthly subscription fee. It means that everyone who's on there, with the exception of people that are maybe watching some intro videos, are premium members, and you get paid for pretty much every second of the time that those people then spend on your content. So aside from the fact that with Skillshare you start earning money immediately, you definitely do earn a lot more money. So I actually released a YouTube video which was called How I Pay My Rent with Skillshare, which you'll see was pretty soon after I started my Skillshare account and started teaching. I actually started to be in a position to be able to pay my rent. And so now it's been incredible, because even though I still work full-time and I still am freelancing as a digital marketing strategist, I know that my rent and a handful of my basic expenses are already covered when it comes to me actually actively spending the time. Effectively, Skillshare earned me $6,336 from May of last year, and YouTube earned me $1,421 from the middle of last year. So that brings me to a total of $7,757, which for my South African viewers is about 115,000 Rand, which is an absolutely insane amount of money to be earning over and above your full-time salary. So I'm definitely not saying quit your job and that passive income is this easy thing to get right, but certainly just to teach the skills that you already have online, it's a really nice way of supplementing that income, particularly over lockdown, which was financially difficult for a lot of us. So I have 7 Skillshare classes currently live. Most of them are around social media marketing, and I am aware that obviously those are the more popular topics on Skillshare. So more technical classes tend not to do as well. It's recommended that your class time be around 20 minutes to 40 minutes. So that is really the sweet spot that I've focused. However, more recently, I've been planning longer form content just because you are getting paid by premium minutes. So it would be great to have one kind of more flagship class where I can start to sense check or A/B test the lengths of my classes. YouTube is a lot more difficult because you need 4,000 minutes of watch time as well as 1,000 subscribers to even become monetized, and that takes most people over 100 videos in order to achieve. So it really is kind of a difficult thing to get going. And then even now with 3,300 subscribers, or however many I have, I earn about $80 a month, so it's really not enough to pay my rent or do anything really appreciable with. However, obviously the key with Skillshare and YouTube working in tandem is you start to have multiple streams of income, which when added to your active income streams mean that you don't have to stress as much about cash, which is amazing. So I would love for this video to really be an encouragement to other people to do the same. I do have loads of answers on my other videos about teaching on Skillshare in terms of how you can get set up. So if you would like to find out more about that, then please do so. The other thing that I do love way more about Skillshare than YouTube, for example, is I find that the community is a lot more supportive on Skillshare. So they actually have 2 programs which incentivize you to kind of move up in the ranks. So there's one called Skillshare Teach Core, which I'm a part of, and basically you get put onto a Slack channel where you can communicate with other teachers and people from around the world that are really trying to make a go of Skillshare. So that's really helpful. They also share a lot of templates and guidelines in terms of how you can get started. So definitely I found that just being part of that community has been really helpful. I'm also very friendly with Maggie Stara, who's an incredible teacher over on Skillshare as well. She's actually a top teacher and is just doing incredible things in the marketing space. So I'll link to her Skillshare down below so you can also check out her videos. She really is amazing. So the course which performs the best for me is my Introduction to Social Media Marketing course. This is the one that was adapted from that original Teachable one. It has a lot of great kind of meat to it in that it explains all the different platforms that you may need when putting together a social media strategy, and it's quite hands-on in terms of tips, tools, tricks and hacks. So it's not highfalutin, it's not lots of theory, it's really meant to be someone who is just trying to do their own social media marketing. Then also interesting to note is I do have some topics which are common across both YouTube and Skillshare. For example, WhatsApp for Business. This is by far my most popular content on YouTube. I get up to 70,000+ views on one of my videos just about WhatsApp for Business. But because the market on Skillshare is typically a little bit more American, whereas my YouTube audience, particularly as it pertains to WhatsApp for Business, is typically Indonesia and India and those markets, it is a little bit different. So definitely, if you are thinking of doing your own Skillshare class, I would 100% encourage it, but just know that your topic is pretty much going to be the single biggest determinant of success on that platform, as is things like competition and that kind of thing. So Udemy actually has a marketplace insights tool, which sadly Skillshare doesn't have. So what I sometimes will do is stress test it against Udemy's marketplace, or you can use things like Google Trends to try and work out what content is really popular. But basically you want to be drawing a kind of Venn diagram for yourself in your mind in terms of what you can teach and what is actually currently popular. Particularly because my classes were around social media, I definitely do think that the pandemic helped to elevate their success, because it was a time when a lot of people were going online, but it has kind of sustained past that point. So I'm hoping that it really is just, you know, a notable change in general, regardless of the pandemic, that more and more people are having to run social media campaigns for themselves or for other people. So definitely look at social media. It's a great one to teach. Otherwise, if you have any other creative skills, there are loads of other cool ones. I love courses particularly around things like personal branding, how to get ahead in your career, how to build creative confidence. There's a great course that I can link to down for that as well. And really, it's just kind of a softer side or a softer approach to teaching, which is something that I really love. I don't, however, want to put you off YouTube. YouTube is obviously the second largest search engine in the world, so the scope of it is huge, and because people are not having to pay to watch your content, it means that your viewership and your virality is potentially a lot higher, but that cost that you're being paid, CPM, is not nearly as much as premium minutes on Skillshare. So definitely worth checking out both. I really hope that this was helpful to you guys. I can't wait to see you in the next video. I would love it if you checked out all my other videos around Skillshare, teaching on Skillshare, how I pay my rent on Skillshare. It's still unbelievable to me that you can do this crazy stuff online. But I'd love to hear from you guys, so leave me a comment down below with any questions, or check out any of my other YouTube videos on the topic. Can't wait to see you guys next time.
I can help you out. I can help